Hello, friends, and welcome back to our homestead. I came home from 1 week away on a family vacation to my hometown, and when I came back, the garden is just exploding with vegetables, including bell peppers. And I have few different types of bell peppers. I have these dark ones, I think they're called California, and these banana ones, yellow looking ones, and just the regular green bell peppers. And I have lots of them. I mean, lots of them. And the beauty of growing your own produce is that you eat everything super fresh. Because when you cut into this bell pepper, the whole house, not just the kitchen, will fill with the aroma of bell peppers. See, when you buy your bell peppers at the grocery store, unless they were grown very, very locally and put on a shelf the next day, you're probably buying something that was grown a very long time ago and far, far away. And they had to coat them. And I'm not going to name which coatings they put on them to protect the vegetable. But those coatings are not always very good for you. The waxy coating and other coating with secret ingredients. So please grow your own or buy from a local homesteader, gardener, or farmer very close to you that grows organic, God-made real foods. So we're going to enjoy this fresh. We're going to eat it fresh in our salads. I'm going to make stuffed bell peppers. It's going to be delicious. And it's so wonderful to eat them fresh because that's when you get the most of nutrients, which are so important to us. But I also know that cold winter is coming. And here in New England, we don't have fresh peppers in the winter unless they were imported from somewhere and they have no taste. By then, there is no taste to them. So this is why I've decided that I need to store away some for the winter months. And I'm going to be using a pickling method, but not the one that you usually see in American preservation books. I'm going to be using a method that was used a long time ago and still is used in my old country, using not just vinegar and water, but also using some oil. That's what's going to give that delicious taste of these peppers. So I'm going to list all the ingredients in the description, so you can go ahead and look for that. But let me show you the things I'm going to be using today, okay? And please follow along, write down this recipe, share with others. It's a really good way to eat these bell peppers in the winter months. Okay, so we're obviously going to need the peppers. And like I said, I have a mixture of green bell peppers, these purple, almost black looking bell peppers, some banana yellow bell peppers. So, but they're mild, sweet bell peppers and different peppers. Nothing really spicy. If you really want a spicy, you can throw in one or two spicy chilies in here as well for the good mix. But this is really what I'm going to be needing. Also, I'm going to be making a marinade, and a marinade is going to be made with water, and I have 1 liter or 1 quart of regular water. I'm going to need olive oil. I'm going to need vinegar, but this vinegar, my friends, is actually 9% vinegar. Most European pickling is done with 9% vinegar and not 4 or 5% like here in the United States. So I usually buy these vinegars either in European markets, in Polish markets, or you can even order them on Amazon or other online stores. But it's a regular white vinegar, but it has to be 9% in order for this formula to work. In case you still cannot find it, then a 5% vinegar, you just have to double the amount in order to reach the 9%, okay? All right, what else? We're going to be needing sugar. We're going to need salt. We're going to need salt and sugar. We're also going to need spices. And I have a teaspoon of black peppercorns here, okay? Black peppercorns and juniper berries, probably about 10 of them. I just threw in here. And then also, I need to go grab bay leaves. Forgot bay leaves. I also have parsley here, a little bunch of parsley. And I have 2 different types of basil because basil will go very, very well with these bell peppers. Okay, I'm going to cook everything, all of these marinade in a pot, a shallow pot, and jars. I'm going to need pint jars. They are already disinfecting, I am sterilizing them in boiling water. Okay, I'm going to be using lids, and I like this company by 4 jars. I have regular mouth and I have some wide mouth, and that's what I'm going to be using today. All right, so let's get going and start making these delicious. It's going to be delicious a thing for the winter months. All peppers are now nicely washed, and I'm just going to chop them up into little strips. I never throw away the ends of them. I just remove the stem. Mama always taught me to save them because why not? It's delicious part of the pepper. Of course, I'm gonna discard all the seeds. They will go to my chickens. They love them. Or if you don't have chickens, compost pile is also a good place to put them. So I'm just gonna cut them into strips, probably about an inch wide. I think that's a perfect size. And I'm just gonna go through all of them before I'm gonna go to the next step. Okay, now I'm just gonna cut up all of these beautiful herbs. They're very aromatic. And I have basil, the regular Italian basil, and I have some, I think it's called Thai basil. Not much, just couple of branches. You know, it's really gonna add a nice flavor, and it's gonna add a nice taste as well. As also, as I've mentioned, I'm gonna be using some bay leaves. I'm gonna be throwing in bay leaves here as well. So let me just prepare them, and I'm gonna chop them up. Okay, gonna remove the stems. I do not need these stems in here, but I'm just gonna roughly chop it so it can also go into our jars with peppers. And let's start working on the brine. And the brine, I'm gonna be using, as I mentioned, water, oil, vinegar, salt, sugar, and I'm gonna be using some black pepper and juniper berries, because it adds a really nice flavor. First, let's add the water. Like I said, I have 1 quart of water, which is 1 liter. Okay. To this, I'm going to be adding vinegar, and this is 9% vinegar. I need 150 grams or milliliters, I should say. Hopefully I have enough. So I'm using a measurement. Oh my goodness, it's just enough. Just enough, 150 mLs of vinegar. Okay, I need to purchase more. I'm all out, and the canning season is upon us. And then I need, let me look at my notes. I need how much oil? 200 mLs of oil. Okay, 200 mLs. So I'm just gonna measure here, 200 mLs. Make sure I have the proper amount. Almost there. 200. All right, it goes into the brine as well. Okay. To this, I'm going to be adding my spices. And like I said, I have the black peppercorns and juniper berries. I'm going to throw them in here as well. I'm going to add some bay leaves in here. These are tiny little ones, some of them big ones. So I'm going to count that there's enough for each one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll throw in 7 in here because even though I only have 6 jars ready, the brine came to a boil, and I'm going to add all of my herbs in here. Okay. And now in smaller batches, I'm going to be adding all of these peppers in here to cook. Okay. I have to drop them carefully so they don't splash on me, because there is oil in here and boiling water, obviously. And now I need to blanch them in this solution, probably for about 4 or 5 minutes. No more than that, okay? Because remember, they're still going to be cooking, continue to cook while they are being water bathed, okay? Because I'm going to be processing this in a water bath. All right, so let this come to a boil, and I'm going to be blanching them in the brine for 5 minutes. I've decided to drop a bay leaf on the bottom of each jar because I think it's going to add a really nice flavor to these peppers. Okay, they have been blanching now for 5 minutes, and now I'm going to be filling up the jars. Okay, I need to push them down a little bit so they don't take up too much space because they slightly softened up. Okay, but I don't want to crush them either because these are fresh peppers and I don't want them to be broken up. So I'm just kind of gently pushing them. Ooh, pushing them into my jars. Okay, help them to find their space in there. And I'm going to be leaving about 1/2 inch of headspace at the top. All right, I think I can add another piece here. Just kind of lay them down, maybe another one sideways. And I'm going to keep filling up all of these jars until they are all filled with these peppers. And then all this brine that I have here, the brine will go on top. Okay, just like this. I'm making a little mess here. Let me hold a little plate so I'm not making a big mess anywhere. Okay, so I filled up 6 jars, and now I left about, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of headspace. And now this boiling, I'm going to turn it off. This boiling hot brine actually going to go on top, and I need to fill up all the way to 1/2 inch of headspace. So I have to be careful because it's very hot and it has oil in it. So I'm going to just move my camera a little bit so I can do this in a safe way. I need to make sure that it fills up all the nooks and crannies. Okay, not to overfill, and I think I'm already overfilling. All right, so I'm gonna make sure that all the bubbles are gone. Okay, and I need to fill up all of these jars. Yeah, that looks like it's enough. To the next I go. It's important that I debubble these jars, but however, last spring, was it last spring? Yes, last spring, my husband and I went to the Amish country and we watched the Amish ladies do canning. They don't do any kind of debubbling. As a matter of fact, the debubbling does not exist. And when I asked him, they had no idea what I was talking about. And I said, well, don't you debubble? They said, no, we do not debubble anything. So there goes the debubbling process. As far as the debubbling process, that's something that is also my mama never ever did as her method, Russian canning method. She never debubbled anything either. This step I never miss. I take a paper towel that I soaked in a little bit of vinegar, and I like to run on the edges to remove anything that might be on the edges because I need to make sure that it has a good seal. So I'm just gonna run on the rim of all of these jars very quickly. Okay, and making sure, see, and I'm finding stuff, making sure that it's nice and clean. And now I'm going to be putting my lids, the lids and the rings. They have been boiled quickly in the boiling water according to the instructions by the canning lids company. It's called 4 Jars. They do recommend that we boil them. So that's what I do. And now I'm just going to be putting on the rings, the lids, that sort of thing. Okay, so I did have a little bit of brine left over, and it's quite all right. It's expected. Come on, I need the lids first. I'm getting all the rings. I need the lids. And we're gonna get them ready for water bath. I have my canner already going. It's nice and hot. I'm gonna do finger tight, not too tight, just finger tight. Because as it's processing in the canner, some of the bubbles will actually bubble out, some of the air that's in the jars before they seal. Into the canner they go. It's very important that when I'm putting my jars into the boiling water of the water bath canner, that the jars and the content of the jars are also very, very hot. Otherwise, these jars will crack and break and I will lose everything. So I have to be careful to follow that rule. All right, the other rule that's important is that I have enough liquid that it covers all of the jars over the top, at least an inch. And right now it looks like it's not covering. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of boiling water to make sure that all of the lids are under the liquid for proper water bath canning process. So now I need to start the timer for exactly 10 minutes. These are pints and I'm going to be processing them for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is up and these jars need to come out. So what I'm going to do is I turn the heat off and I'm just going to open a cover and give them like a minute just to cool down just a bit before I take them out because it's still bubbling. So I just want these bubbles to stop before I actually start taking them out. And for safety, I always use special tools like this, not to burn myself because this can be potentially dangerous. So I've got to be careful when I lift them up. I'm just going to give it a minute for the bubbles to stop before I start taking them out onto the towel. Okay, they're all out. And pretty soon I'm gonna start hearing a little ping on top of these lids, meaning that they are sealing. At this point, I'm gonna let them sit on my kitchen counter just like this for the next 24 hours until they completely cool off. Then I will remove these rings. I will be storing in my pantry without the rings. I will label what it is when I made it and enjoy it throughout the winter months. Okay, so this is how I like to preserve my bell peppers for long-term food storage. They're good for at least 18 to 24 months, but I can tell you that this will be gone over the first winter. We love to serve this next to potatoes and rice, on side of plof. You name it, we've done it. So this is delicious. Slightly sour, slightly sweet. Couple of additions that you could try that I've done before and I will do as well in a separate batch is that you can put a little bit of hot pepper in here, like a few flakes into each jar. Or you can add a little bit garlic in here, will also add a really nice flavor. On this note, friends, I hope you are encouraged to put away some food for the winter months. Enjoy today, but put away for tomorrow. So on this note, friends, be encouraged and try something new.